Okay, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So for this quick video, I wanted to highlight a channel I found on YouTube that I really like. I just found them literally this morning, and what's it called? It's called AnthroFuturism. Have you heard of this channel? AnthroFuturism. So I'm really impressed. It sounds like a young person is narrating the video. I don't know if they are responsible for, I don't know who it is. I don't know if they're responsible for creating all the animations. The one I chose to do a watch with me, one of my watch with me videos is just a 5 minute quick, one of their quick videos, but they have lots of videos and there's some long form ones. And I've been really impressed. There's like really good insight, there's really good jokes, and he even rhymes sometimes, and it's like it's entertaining. And he's gotten a lot of views, gotten a lot of subscribers. I'm just catching on now, and hopefully I'll bring some more people to the party. So without further ado, let's check it out. Oops.
This series has focused on solving a major problem with lunar development.
So this is the beginning of the video. So just so you know. Let me start one more time just to convince you. I didn't cut the video off.
This series has focused on solving a major problem with lunar development, our logistics problem, in which we cannot get enough Walmart's worth of stuff to the moon from Earth to support a healthy, thriving, and growing economy.
So he said a Walmart's worth. So that's his own unit of measurement. Basically, the amount of material and supplies, shipments that are delivered to a typical average Walmart in a given year. You'll have to watch his other videos to find out how much a Walmart of material is, but I'm telling you, it's a great channel, and let's watch together. I don't agree with everything he says. In fact, this specific video is centered on using the moon to build giant space stations. Well, you know, one of my opinions in regards to the future of space colonization is using the moon to build to build orbital habitats and colonies is very stupid. You know, the moon has a very specific mass. We need to keep the moon's mass the exact same. We don't want to change it. We don't even want to get started with mining stuff there. There's plenty of other resources out there. We can launch stuff from the Earth, or we can go and get it from the asteroid belt. Or even even Mars is better, but the moon, we need to really focus on keeping the mass the same, because it's just I think it's going to be a runaway effect of once people start building stuff on the moon, and it's just a little thing. Oh, we're just building one little colony, or just one little module to send up into orbit, and then it turns into, oh, this other country says, oh, we're just doing one little module, and then this other, oh, we're doing one little, and then it's just, it goes out of hand, and then all of a sudden everybody's building lots of shit, and sending it up from the moon into orbit, and that is, like gonna spiral out of control pretty fast. So we need to make sure that doesn't happen. And so that's why I'm saying we shouldn't even start building stuff to launch into orbit from the moon. You know, you can build stuff on the moon. You can send a few things to the moon, and to offset, you know, maybe sending other things from the moon. But we really need to focus on the net amount of material that is landed on the moon and sent from the moon. It should stay the same. So anyway, all right, let's continue.
Economy. But actually, we're lucky we have this problem, because it might be more of a problem if we didn't have any problems to solve at all. That's complacency, and it's what killed the dinosaurs, because they didn't have a space program. But fortunately, we do have problems, lots of them. Just look in the mirror. And our logistics problem itself arose because super heavy ships need several orbital refueling launches per trip to the moon, and these are constrained by launch frequency. Easily solved if we break up the journey to the moon according to specialized vehicles. The first leg of the journey is accomplished by the first vehicle. The Super Heavy rocket specializes in accelerating a payload from 0 kilometers per second on the ground up through the atmosphere to about 8 kilometers per second in low Earth orbit. Then the payload is taken over by another vehicle, the freighter, which specializes in accelerating the payload from 8 kilometers a second to 10.8 kilometers a second for translunar trajectory, then decelerating the payload from lunar orbit to 0 kilometers a second relative to the lunar surface. But transferring this payload from the first vehicle to the second is tricky, so we constructed a simple matrix to facilitate this transfer efficiently and safely, the orbital port. And just to decrease the amount of fuel we have to pay for
This animation is really cool. I guess they made it in Blender. I've done a lot of work in Blender myself, and I know that all of this work, it's pretty intense. I don't know, how many man hours were spent, but I know it would take me a long time to build an animation like this.
launching the freighter from the lunar surface back into orbit because we're greedy capitalists and nothing more. Definitely not thinking ahead about all the amazing things we can do with the mass driver, just narrowly focused on our piggy profit margins. We constructed a system to launch the freighters back into orbit using electricity, which is like inventing a teleporter to advertise chocolate.
Don't you realize what you've invented? It's a teleporter. It's the most important invention in the history of the world. And all you think about is chocolate.
The little turd is right. Maybe the demand to optimize chocolate sales via sampled advertisements justified the immediate cost for developing a teleporter. But once you have a teleporter, an increase in chocolate sales immediately becomes insignificant compared to the overall impact. Maybe the demand to solve a logistics problem and import more goods to the moon justified the immediate cost for developing a mass driver freighter orbital port system. But once you have a system such as this, an increase in imports to the moon immediately becomes insignificant compared to the overall impact. The freighter is just a vehicle, a simple steel skeleton, and its function and label really just depend on its payload. If it's carrying cargo, it's a freighter. If it's carrying a tank full of liquid oxygen, it's a tanker. If you set up a facility to manufacture standardized, modular, habitable, pressurized hulls on the moon out of steel made from lunar regolith and attach one of them to a freighter so it can carry people, you get a ferry. If you use freighter...
This is amazing. I mean, like, the specific design could change, but the concept of using a railgun type of thing to accelerate payloads closer to orbital velocity on the moon, that's pretty awesome. I bet that could save a lot of fuel. Again, cool animations.
To haul a ton of these hulls into orbit where they're assembled together as modular pieces making up a larger architecture, you get a big-ass space station. If you use a freighter to move this big boy from lunar to low Earth orbit, you get a cislunar tug. If you move a few of these stations into low Earth orbit and then fill them with people and supplies using heavy lift rockets, then you've just carved out a significant amount of habitable real estate. And you could stop there, but why? Now that you have this set up, if you use a few tugs to move a few of these stations fully loaded with people and supplies from low Earth orbit into Mars transfer orbit, or beyond, you get a colonial fleet. If you can do all this, then it's the end of the beginning of humanity's expansion into the rest of the solar system. Thanks for tuning in. Leave a comment if you have any cool ideas or constructive feedback. I read all of them, and as always, a massive thanks to Reed Waters, Eve Bett, Luke Winter, Darren Green, Logan Mars, Romeo Weinrich, Leo, Ted Thayer, Adam Rudanis, Rick, Jonathan.
All right, well, I don't have to listen to that part. Basically, this channel is great. I really recommend going and checking it out. I'm gonna put the link to this video in my description below, and let me know what you think of that channel. I mean, from an outside perspective, do you like the channel? Anything you think that they should change? Anyway, hope you liked it, and go ahead and watch some more videos from AnthroFuturism. What a great channel.